Are you struggling to hit your med spa revenue goals each month? You are not alone. Most med spa owners fall into 3 types of critical mistakes that sabotage their growth. Did you know the average single location medical spa generates over $120,000 in monthly revenue in 2022? If you're not hitting these numbers, you are falling behind. In this video today, you will learn the 3 most common mistakes med spa owners are making that are killing their revenue goals. For those of you who are new here, I'm Kelly Smith, CEO of Projected Growth Consulting. With over 20 years in medical aesthetic marketing and having assisted over 5,000 practices, I'm an industry expert who has built 7-figure businesses for my clients. Red flag number 1, not linking your revenue goals to historical income or revenue performance. As many of you know, I coach hundreds of executive coaching clients every single year, and I could tell you a dozen different stories, but one that comes to mind is just setting the goals of what you'd like to achieve based on what you need to make from the practice in order to pay your bills, rather than what you've ever done before or what you actually have the room or the capacity to do in the med spa. So if you're setting goals for revenue without any kind of idea of historical performance of how much did you usually do a month in toxins or fillers or laser hair removal or IPLs, RF microneedling, if you don't know what you've done before and you're setting monthly sales goals without any information, that will cause your team to not participate or take the goals seriously, and you will have a very difficult time coming even close to those goals, which may not be reasonable at all. Moving on to red flag number 2. Here's another one that happens from time to time. I've got a client that wants to increase their revenue by 25%. So they do look at their old numbers and they go ahead and decide to increase every single service 25% without looking at the number of appointments or the capacity that they have with their current staff. So you might see the problem here. Yes, can you increase sales 25% if you do marketing correctly? Absolutely. Can you render those services and those sales if you don't have enough staff or rooms to do so? Absolutely not. So this is really a common red flag mistake number 2, setting goals without making sure you have the staff or the space to deliver the services. And last but not least, red flag mistake number 3, not tracking your conversion, consultation, and closing ratios, or what we like to call KPIs, key performance indicators. These are things like how many leads do we get, and are we converting those leads, whether they're on phone, social media, or email? Are we converting those into consultations at 50%, 40%, 10%? What are those conversions looking like? The next conversion is how many of those consultations that are set turn into sales. So what is your closing ratio? And lastly, what is your average sale in retail and services? These are the KPIs you've got to track in order to look at your marketing and your goals to see if you can reach those goals. So let me give you just another example here. When I have a client, and I'm thinking of one from Washington, D.C., he's telling me he wants to grow the revenue by 25% and he is ready to spend the marketing dollars. However, they've never really tracked closing ratios or how many leads they get, but they just want to spend more money in order to grow the business 25%. So here's the problem with that. If you're not converting leads at about 50%, then we probably can't even supply you enough leads to fill the bucket to then make consultations or service appointments. So step 1, we have to know what your conversion is, because we can fix that problem. We can create a process where we make sure you're responding to your leads right away at your reception team, and that they are skilled and coached on how to convert that lead into an appointment or a consultation by talking about the benefits of your services and speaking to that client in the right talk track to get that appointment booked. Oftentimes what happens here besides sales training could be that you're sending your leads to an auto booking calendar that doesn't work, or maybe you're not responding to those leads at all because people are too busy, or maybe you're telling them to call the phone but it's always going to voicemail and you're not answering the phone calls. So that is one of those things where if you're not tracking it, you would never know. You're just going to think you need more leads. And I will tell you, 8 out of 10 clients when they come on tell me they need more leads, but it is usually not necessarily the case. They're typically not tracking their consultation closing ratio, the average amount that they're selling, and they just don't understand that there could be one of 3 problems. It's not always needing more leads. Typically, it's processes and systems to convert the lead to either a consult or a sale, an appointment, and then upselling and cross-selling that client to do multiple services to achieve the best outcome for them, which is going to change your average ticket. And that lastly, that is going to let you spend less money on marketing because you have more patients doing more services, and your retention will go up and your marketing costs can go down. You can't possibly know where to start if you're not tracking number of leads, the conversion rate of those leads, consultation closing ratio, and average sale. Without those pieces of information, we can't create a plan for you to achieve your financial goals. Keep in mind, if you stop doing your financial tracking, it can totally sabotage your financial performance, even if you dodge the red flags I mentioned. If revenue sources are tracked incorrectly, you won't be able to assess what's really working and what is not working in your practice. This leaves you directionless and not having any idea of how to fix the problem or identify the solution. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What do you feel is your biggest revenue blockage? And what would be your burning question about how to fix it? As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm giving away the ultimate recipe to stop wasting time and money on revenue strategies that just don't work. Click the link below to book your complimentary strategy session with one of our experts and learn how we can help you easily track your weekly revenue, your monthly goals, and provide solutions very affordably so you and your team are confident that your goals are realistic and that you have a path towards success. If you like this video and these tips are valuable, please subscribe to our channel and check back regularly as we post weekly tips of how to grow your med spa or aesthetic medical practice.